32 miles an hour is the claimed top speed on this full suspension 1500 watt peak power moped style electric bike. Website says we could do 65 miles of range on a single charge. Probably depends on the weight of the rider. It's currently available for under $1,000 in the link below the video. And it looks like they're currently including passenger pegs and a passenger seat with it for a limited time. Check the link below the video for the current price and promotions going on. But don't buy this thing just yet. We got to review the TST R002 and see if it's any good or not. And here's what it looks like when you get out of the box. And this is the passenger seat that is included for free for a limited time. And here is where the passenger pegs will go. And this one is rolling on the short 20-inch tall wheels, bringing the whole bike lower to the ground. They are 4 inches wide with the knobby tread. Here's a look at the tread depth on these ones. And the wheels are single piece construction, meaning you're not gonna have to worry about any broken spokes. Brake rotors are 180 millimeters. Just got a light on the rear, and let's look at the seat. So the seat is long and it has a nice looking texture to it. Feels pretty soft. And then we'll add this seat on the back. And it is full suspension running a basic HLT 100 shock on the rear. And around back we have our geared hub motor capable of handling 1500 watts of peak power. And here's what the numbers and stampings are on the actual motor. And of course, how much power we send to that motor will be dependent on the battery and the controller. So let's take a look at those. TST R002. Battery pops off with a key. And this one has the battery tray that also doubles as a controller. So that is the controller for the bike. So this is a 48 volt bike, and it is a 15 amp hour battery pack with 720 watt hours of energy. Now they say you can do 65 miles of range on this thing, but that's gonna depend on the rider weight as well as how you ride it. So let's throw it on the scale, see how much this thing weighs. 8.8 pounds. It's got some riser style handlebars. Brake levers are core ride. Grips are round and rubber with a zigzag pattern. Power application is from a thumb throttle on the left. Here's what the controls look like. I'll turn that on in a minute. Same old 7-speed Shimano shifter. There's the other grip. And here is Zephyr about to show us the dual crown fork. So the front fork is a dual crown. Of course, there is suspension on it. It's a basic fork with no adjustments on either of the stanchions. So here are the passenger pegs, derailleur guard, and a pair of basic metal pedals, and a charger, which is a 3 amp charger. So it'll take about 5 hours to charge your battery from empty to full. It's got a user manual and the tools to build it. And there's also a headlight included. Fork has an open dropout style, kickstand on, passenger pegs on. And while we're back here, 180 millimeter rotor on the rear brake. And the brakes are core ride hydraulic brakes. The front wheel drops on there. Then it's got this piece here, and the nut holds it on. Headlight on, and plastic fender on. Battery's got some indicators, so let's drop it on there. And let's take a look at the display after we turn it on. Boom, so it is a technically color display because battery readout is in blue bars up here. We get the meaningful stuff like miles per hour, trip, odometer, and we can adjust our pedal assist. Oh, don't press that pedal assist too quickly though. I haven't seen one like this. Check it out. That is indicating the left signal is on. So you press the minus button to reduce your pedal assist. But if you double tap, pressing it twice, it does the signals. So we do have turn signals on the rear of this e-bike. No signals on front though. Then you turn your light on with that button. And here's what the front headlight looks like when you turn it on. The light on the rear is pretty bright. You also have a place for a license plate if you want. And when you grab the brake lever, it starts flashing. And we'll toss this on there in a minute. Looking at this bike, I can see it is a relatively compact e-bike. So probably not designed for a 6'5" dude. But here's what I look like getting on this bike with an inseam of 34. I have a decent amount of standover room. Putting that passenger seat back on there, we're gonna have to swing our leg over a bit more probably. But sitting on this bike, I have plenty of room to stand. Rear suspension's feeling firm, we might need to break it in. Front suspension's feeling basic, but there is some travel on that front suspension. Here's what my pedal stroke would look like riding this bike. Try the throttle. Oh, it does have a little power meter there. So if we throw it on pedal assist 5, you have full throttle. You see the power meter there on the left. Doesn't show watts, but does give an indication of power. Stock settings will take us up to 20 miles an hour using the throttle. And on the other side, we have a 7-speed cassette with a basic Shimano tourney derailleur. And here's a look at the crank up front. It's got a double wall guard to give you a little protection from smashing the teeth on those gears in case you hit it on a rock or something. Rear seat on. Don't think they made this for me. I don't think this is what this bike is designed for. We might have some fun on this one. All right, dudes, let's check out the TST R002 for a rip. So I figured out to unlock the top speed on this thing, you actually have to download the app. It connected up seamlessly. This thing works very well. Shows connected there. And all you gotta do is get over here and do unlock class 3. Little countdown there, and of course we agree. So we should be able to go 28 miles an hour. Let's go test this thing out. And we're rolling on the 48 volt, 15 amp hour battery pack. Track our official range on the Strava app. And I should mention, this thing is kind of more on the lighter side of electric bikes of moped style. Clocks in at 75 pounds, so really not too bad for an e-bike. Let's roll. So looking at the headlights in here, there's the brightness and got the flashing brake light on the back. So let's see how it'll do on the 20% grade, rolling on the shorter 20-inch wheels, which are generally a little bit more torquey than tall wheels with the pedal assist 5, and we are on class 3 mode. I weigh 200 pounds, ready to go. What kind of torque we working with on this thing? And it's showing it's giving us full power here, pulling us up the 20% grade at a bit of a crawl here, about 3 miles an hour, and doing it on throttle only. So let's get a second run up with a bit of a rollout here, about 8 miles an hour, and see how it'll do. About kind of just losing a little bit of momentum as we go, not pedaling at all. So let's feel out the riding modes, the pedal assist modes and all that. We'll throw it on down to 0 pedal assist on gear 1, and I mean, this thing weighs 75 pounds, which really isn't too bad for an electric bike at all. A lot of these moped ones, especially, you know, the bigger battery, higher power ones, they can get over 100 real quick. And it's a huge difference between 75 pounds and 100 pounds when it comes to pedaling and handling. So gear 1 here, let's try pedal assist 1 now. So it feels like it is a cadence sensor, so that'll just give us power if we turn the pedals. It doesn't matter how hard we press on the pedals as long as we're turning our legs. It'll just give us power according to the pedal assist level, which on pedal assist 1, it'll go 8 miles an hour. And that doesn't matter if you're using throttle or pedaling, you get the same speed there. Pedal assist 2 brings us up to about 13 miles an hour. And same goes, it doesn't matter if you're pedaling or using throttle application. And this is with the bike unlocked to class 3 mode. These same numbers might be dialed down just a bit if you leave it in the default class 2 mode. Pedal assist 3 cuts us off right at 15, and gear number 7, I can keep up with the pedaling still. Let's try 4. So this bike is, you know, a little bit too small for my pedal stroke with an inseam of 34 at 6'5" if I actually want to pedal it, but would probably be great for a shorter individual. Pedal assist 4 cuts off at about 16 or 17. Let's try 5. So on pedal assist 5 on throttle only, we are gaining speed, and it's hard to keep up with pedaling once I get to like 23. Also, I should mention, after you unlock it to class 3, we're probably not going to do as good on battery. It is showing 100% right now, and I weigh 200 pounds, so you'll do better on overall range, which we'll see what our range is at the end of today's ride. If you weigh less and you leave it on class 2, go slower than 20, because you really start to lose battery a lot faster at speeds over 20. So let's go ahead and give it a 0 to 20 acceleration run. I weigh 200 pounds, throttle only, ready, go.
One time I got stuck.
7, 10, 14, 15, 18, 19, 20. So pretty gentle accelerating electric bike when you're not pedaling it. I would consider this a safe electric bike to get on for, you know, a beginner, newbie. And since it's not giving us like crazy power, we should do a little bit better on battery range. They rate this motor for 1500 watts on the website. That's probably the peak power that the motor is able to take. I don't know what the actual controller on this one is, but you know, I can tell it's not giving it 1500 watts when I press on the throttle. So let's try the top speed. Pedal assist 5, let's whip this thing around. Bit of a tailwind, 12, 13. We're gonna do throttle only. 20 with a 200 pound rider, 21. Now that we're on class 3, 22, 23, 24, 25. Still not pedaling, showing 26, 26 on the GPS, 27. So we're still gaining, not pedaling. 27, and give me 28. I don't think we're gonna get 28 by the time we get to the light, but if you weighed less, you probably would. So we're gonna get out here on the beach scene, see how it does on the sand, try the Cali Incline, test the brakes, and we'll see where we end up on range at the end of today's ride. So one thing that I find interesting on this bike is the turn signals. If you double tap down, it will turn on the turn signal. And if you double tap up, it'll turn on the other turn signal. So the implication of that is if you go to downshift 2 pedal assist modes real quick, it won't. It'll flip your blinker on instead, which honestly isn't really a problem, but just something I kind of noticed. I just pretty much keep it on 5 all the time anyway. But let's go ahead and drop a gear or 2 here and see if we can make it up this hill. All right. So we made it up. I lost control a little bit there. We are running a little bit high PSI on the tires, but riding off-road, we're gonna feel, yeah, the rear suspension on this is kind of firm. You know, it might be set up for riding with 2 passengers because we do have that second passenger seat back there. So if you get a ton of weight over the rear wheel, then that's when the rear suspension starts to really kick in. So like if you sit on the back seat, you can feel the rear suspension a lot more. Also, if you sit on the back seat, kind of make the front wheel come off the ground, like ride a wheelie. So in general, suspension on this bike is pretty basic. It's enough to, you know, kind of eat up some of the bumps. There's no adjustments on it, but it's definitely a lot better than riding, you know, a bike with no suspension at all, because when you ride a bike with no suspension, you kind of have your frame at risk of breaking because of all of the bumps. E-bikes that have no suspension on them, the frame basically, it just has to eat up all of the bumps and eventually it could snap. Looks like we got an LAPD chopper up here circling. There might be something going on around here. Circling back low, bro. So riding in the grass, you know, it's fine. Got a Lamborghini chilling. Ferrari, Maserati MC20, Ferrari, California. So I have to say this bike's definitely good for getting out and just having a little adventure. More Ferraris. That was a big police doggy right there. One thing I am noticing about this bike is despite it having a dual crown fork, you can turn the wheel really far. Usually the dual crown fork limits that. It's an absolute party out here today, man. So, can it ride in the sand? Got it on pedal assist 5. We're gonna get a little air right here. And just kind of full throttle in. It's actually making it further than I thought it would. Kind of cranking along here. And I mean, if we start giving it a little bit of pedaling assistance, we can keep it rolling along. And once we get on the downhill part here, it'll go, obviously. And then as we get down closer to the hard pack sand, obviously, it does a little better here. So we can, you know, cruise along with the fat tires, the wide 4-inch wide fat tires. But ultimately, probably not the best electric bike for sand riding. It can kind of get moving along. You need dual motor or something with a little bit more power. We're kind of moving along here a little bit, actually. But you can tell it's struggling. I don't want to burn the motor up. I'm kind of curious what would happen if I just blast off here at about 20 miles an hour. Let's give it a try. This is dangerous. Definitely got a little momentum and losing steam quickly, but we do have gear 1 here to kind of help us along. So sand riding will be a workout if that's your thing. So let's go try the California Incline. Cali Incline is the top of the 85-foot cliff, 12% grade. Got a police truck turning right at us here, bro. We better go. So let's start with the spiral section here, see how well it does. So I'm just full throttle on pedal assist 5, not pedaling at all. And it's pulling us up, doing about 7, 8 miles an hour, 6 miles an hour. And obviously I could pedal to get it going just a bit more here. It does have a power meter here, so showing it's giving full power. It doesn't say the exact wattage. And for the main portion of the California Incline from the start against the wall, pedal assist 5 throttle only. We're moving. It is giving full power, as I can see the blue bar indicates. Any sort of flickering of the screen that you see is only the camera refresh rate of 60 frames per second. Doesn't flicker to my eyes, and we're doing 11 miles an hour, still giving full power, 12 miles an hour, 13 miles an hour. So, yeah, it's a lot better than trying to pedal a bicycle up this thing, I'll tell you that, because we're just chilling. Topping this out right around 13 miles an hour and just kind of pulling along, giving that power consistently. Yep, 12, 13. So we do have hydraulic brakes on this thing, and the stopping power is pretty good. We'll put them to the test here. Let's say what's up to this dude real quick. What's happening, brother? How you liking the new bike?
I'm loving it.
Did you take it on the sand at all or anything yet?
Oh, yeah. So I got 80 some odd miles on here now.
Not on a single charge though, right?
On a single charge.
Holy crap, man, that's awesome. So I actually haven't seen these core ride brakes, but you know, they're hydraulic, they're on 180 millimeter rotors. So I mean, they feel good. They stop this bike good actually. And at the price of this bike, I mean, the on sale price anyway, pretty good brakes. A lot of times on these cheap ones, we'll get mechanical brakes, which are just really inferior to the hydraulics we see on this thing. So let's get a brake test from about 20, and we have back brake on the right. Yeah, these brakes are really good, dude. Very safe. Smooth, linear, 2 thumbs up, especially for the price of this bike. So let's do some stupid stuff now. Sitting on the back seat here. Oh wow. This is a little sketch. I would not recommend doing this. But to answer the question, can it do a wheelie? To some degree, if you sit on the back seat, is it safe? Probably not. All right, bros, we're about to head on home, check the final range. We are going on a little bit longer ride than usual today. And along the way, I'll share my final thoughts. So in general, this is kind of like a beginner-friendly, entry-level, moped-style electric bike. And for the on-sale price linked below this video in the description box, it really isn't that bad of a value at all. So if you're looking for, you know, like a moped-style electric bike that is kind of more on the lighter weight end of the spectrum at about 75 pounds, and just, you know, like a reasonable amount of power, something you can carry a passenger on. It's got the foot pegs in the rear seat. This could be a solid option for you. I'd say the power level on this one is, you know, relatively safe. Some of these e-bikes I review are not only extremely heavy, but also, you know, they can be a little bit dangerous. And for like a new rider or like a younger rider, this is probably something a little bit more sufficient. But I mean, even still, like, I mean, 22, 23, 28 miles an hour is, I mean, you don't want to be falling off something going this fast. Now, not as crazy as like that Saran that we just went past. So I mean, at the price of right around 900 bucks, you know, under $1,000, this is not a bad option at all for the price. So if you want to grab one, use that link below the video, but let's head on home, check the final range. Bro is jamming out. So one thing about the smaller battery pack on this is you actually get like better fuel efficiency on a lighter battery pack because you're not carrying around a bunch of extra weight. So on some of these e-bikes, the battery is so big, it's almost like you need more battery just to carry your battery. So I mean, there's just always a trade-off between, you know, battery size and bike feel and range and all that. Lamborghini's ripping it, and so are we. Well, trying to anyway. This isn't going to be good for range. So as the battery's wearing down, I can tell we're losing a little bit of power, pulling about 25 now. All right, bros, just rolling back into the neighborhood here, rolling up on almost 20 miles here in about 1/10 of a mile. We were out there for an hour, 50 minutes, just under 11 miles an hour average speed, and we were showing 2 out of 5 bars remaining on the 48 volt 15 amp hour battery pack. And that was with a 200-pound rider, not pedaling this thing at all. So it's a smaller battery. You know, they definitely make them smaller, they definitely make them bigger, but the smaller medium-ish battery does help keep the weight of this thing down. So for what it is at about 900 bucks, probably not a bad entry-level electric bike, you know, to get out, explore. So if you do want to grab one of these bikes, click on the link down below the video, buy through that link. It would help support my reviews and get you the best price. However, if this is not the kind of electric bike you're looking for, you should probably watch this video, bro. Catch you over there.